What's going on, everybody? Welcome to lunchtime. Little break from the work day. Get to hang out with my friends, talk about entertainment, sports, and CrossFit. Yesterday we got some bad news, so I'm gonna lighten it up a little bit, but I want to share something from a few years back to honor someone we lost yesterday from my childhood, and that is the one great late Ozzy Osbourne.
Stupid bloody bag. Never get the bloody.
Hey, Dad.
Thing. No. I'm just.
But we really want to show you
I've got something to do. I'm trying to get this.
You really should see this.
What is it then? What is it?
These aren't Pepsis. They're Pepsi Twists.
You're a bunch of bloody magicians.
We're not the Osbournes.
You're not.
We're the Osmonds.
I'm a little bit country.
I'm a little bit rock and roll.
Sharon, the kids have turned into the Osmonds.
Oh, they're there, dear. Go back to sleep.
Like twists?
Ozzy Osbourne died yesterday. He was someone, Christian Kettler. I'm surprised he made it 76 years. I think all of us are surprised he made it 76 years. When I was in high school, he was the counterculture. He was everything against the standard. He was frightening. He was ferocious. And then the 90s rolled around and he started to do reality TV with his family. And then we got the goofy, crazy Ozzy. But man, my childhood, that man was scary as hell. Parents feared him so much. And now he's gone. He's gone. Marat, I am surprised he didn't make it another 30. All those drugs kept him alive. Yeah, like with the alcohol, he was definitely pickled inside. But yeah. And the famous Sharon. But yeah, I was surprised about that. I actually really got into his music later, probably in college. Really started to appreciate it a lot. Pretty crazy that we've lost him. So just wanted to start off the show with that. The next thing I want to talk about is yesterday after Corey and I were on, I listened to the end of Sevan's podcast yesterday. And Sevan was talking about a change that I had made and that he wanted to call me a few years back and give me some advice. And he was kind of going through what he thought I had been going through over the last few, the few months. And he described that if you're in a rut and you're playing it safe, you're just going to stay in the rut. And he described an analogy and used an analogy that, like, when you go on the air, it should feel like you're jumping out of an airplane. And that's what I feel like now. I feel like, and he described it as a dance. I've showed you guys over the last few weeks. I don't have notes. I just have some topics we may want to talk about. But I really don't have notes. And so we talk about topics on the show. You guys give input. We kind of react to that. What you get is my honest expression of what I feel in those moments and how I feel about things. And that becomes like a dance every day because I never really know what the show is going to be. And that's, I think that's the biggest difference with what's going on. And also when I'm on here by myself, I don't have to worry about offending anybody. It's just me giving my opinions. It's very unfiltered now, and I'm really enjoying it. When I say jump out of plane, I don't mean like I'm leaping to my death. I mean every day now there is an adrenaline rush coming on the air. So super stoked about that. That he kind of described what I was feeling, and so that's exactly what I feel like. Dense updates. I have to take notes so I don't forget anything. I do forget topics. So I do have a list of topics. and I'll show you guys again. That's my notes. There's nothing. It's just a list of topics that we can touch on if I hit a lull, but there's no like detail to any of it. Unrelated, but have y'all seen the bear Castro posted in the story? Is that a CrossFit hint? And if so, what? I have not dug into the CrossFit or the Castro clues yet. So I don't know. Instead of rumors, I see it here. Joseph Ramirez, Clydesdale Day. I declare today Clydesdale Day. I know you're not allowed to declare your own nickname, but I'm declaring the day Clydesdale Day. Any day that an event at the CrossFit Games becomes 1 rep max back squat, Clydesdales rejoice all over the world. I literally got a text from Larry Young last night, John's dad, saying they've put a heavy thing in the games. I'm not allowed to bitch for 2 weeks. I won't know what to do on all these podcasts. And so I thought that was hilarious. That is my wheelhouse, 1 rep max back squat. I would love to do that. I have not missed a back squat since 2014. So I've never truly maxed it out. Right before my last back procedure, I was heading to 500. And I got to 475. And then I had to have my final back procedure. And so I've not had the confidence to go up for it again. But that is what I wanted to do. And I've never pushed myself to where I had to dump a back squat. I have not missed one in over 10 years, but I haven't really pushed in the last 4. So see, you cardio people want to add cardio to a beautiful event that is just line it up, get under the bar, drop down, push it up. Come on. Just once in our lives can we have just a pure strength event. And it's not technique, it is just pure power. I always get this wrong. The cat's meow. Who let the cats meow? Yeah, that's it. Gosh, I always forget that. I imagine there must be some kind of twist with that workout, maybe a 2-parter. It just seems weird to have a 1 rep max back squat as a whole event when the CrossFit total already exists. If you listen to Hiller last night, he talked about it being by itself and how beautiful that is and not being like polluted by other events. And that's why I love it. I love that we're just lining up, getting under a heavy bar. Can you drop down and can you lift it up? Simple, beautiful, elegant, powerful. Yes, it's Clydesdale Day. CK Kevin, I hit 450 a few years ago. Now at 55, I don't really see the point. Want to stay close to that though. Yep. You're the same age as I am, Kevin. Yeah, I hit 475 at like 51. And yeah, I just can't. I wanted to hit 500 one more time. But I don't think that's in the cards anymore. Jay Birch, 410 is my best, but like you, I've never dumped one. I didn't say I never dumped one. I said I haven't dumped one since 2014. Shiz with the important question, will they have theatrical lights? Yeah, I think I heard they're bringing in the WWE to give it like a special effect and everything. Marat, 1 rep max squat is great. Not every test at the games needs to be a for time workout. better question is, will they turn the lights off mid-attempt? That could be the twist. You have to do half of it in the dark. Judy says Colton or Nick. Don't forget Tudor. Don't forget my boy Tudor. Joseph Ramirez, women, Kerstetter, Prevost, and Walton. My pick is Annika Greer. Annika Greer, Olivia Kerstetter. Load your bar in the dark, lift whatever weight you load. So you just have to guess. Austin had 500 for 2 the other day, so he'll be up there too. Yeah, I think there'll be a good chunk of men over 5. What's crazy is if you go back to the CrossFit Total in 20, of the 5 men that were there, nobody hit 5. Now, 5 years later, I bet you we have a good chunk over 5. Christian Kettler, Olivia, Trained Olive echoing Denny or Jenny. Jenny and Dense updates mixed together is Denny. Yeah. Nick has done 570. If Colton could do more, that's outrageous. Man, Colton just does not have a long range of motion to get down and back up. Lido asks 500 for 5. What is the equivalent of 500 for women? 350. That is what I'm hearing. It's somewhere around the 350 mark. What are your thoughts on low bar brought up by Hiller? I like low bar. Actually, I do think it makes you stronger, but it takes a lot of upper body mobility to get there. So when I was low bar, like I really had to stretch out my shoulders. To get that strong position on your back, you really have to have a lot of range of motion to get into that low bar. But I think the big factor to the back squat is going to be what is the rack they're going to use. If it's 2 poles with like a thing on it and you're doing big weights, I think people are going to be conservative because they're going to afraid they're going to miss the re-rack. I hope they do something a little more stable to be able to re-rack the heavy weights. Probably too late to work on low bar at this point. Yeah, if you're not used to it, yeah. I bet way fewer women hit 350 than men hit 500. I don't disagree with you on that one. Who let the cat? Yeah. I think you probably only have 3, maybe 4 on the women's side. I bet you have over 5 hit 5 on the men's side. Sarah Cooper, is it just the bar lower on your back as opposed to the shoulderish height? Yeah, you're going further down on your back, more on your shoulder blade than up like on your traps. And the other thing is it allows you to kind of bend over a little bit and use your back more on the lift up, where if you're up on the traps, you have to stay more upright. So Winter Olympic girls do 315 for reps. I'm sure. So sounds sketchy. it all depends on if you're used to it or not. It kind of buries into the muscle. It's not, and you do have to have that shoulder mobility to hold it in place. So you have to have a strong grip into that. But it's not as sketchy as it sounds if you're used to it. You should not try it for the first time doing a heavy weight at the CrossFit Games. I will say that. So yeah, today is Clydesdale Day all over the world for all those back squat lovers. We'll get to see that happen at the CrossFit Games. I'm anxious to see how they do it. You know, we joked about the lighting, but are they going to do it like they did like the sandbag clean, or maybe like groups of 4 come up, do the squat until it gets down to a certain number? Then we go down to like just 1 squat rack on the floor, keep upping the weight, let them go. Or do they get 3 attempts, or like, what's it going to be? Because I think if you want to see like the true heavy let's go, you're going to have to leak it up, and then kind of funnel it down to 1 squat rack in the middle of the floor. Would anyone do it barefoot? Would anyone do it barefoot? I don't think it would be allowed to do it barefoot. If you remember 2 years ago, when Alex Gazan lost her shoe on the floor, they made her put her shoe back on before she could finish the race. And who let the cats out? Great point. You win $500 just for wearing the Luzhong shoes. If you actually win the event, I think it's like $3 grand, something like that. And then if you watch the Annika Greer interview with Dave, he actually says in there that they do have sponsors for every event, and there will be prize money for events 1st, 2nd, and 3rd for every event. So there will be prize money for winning, $3K for winning the back squat, and then $2K for 2nd, $1K for 3rd. The other thing he did mention in that interview with Annika is on the crossover double unders, they're not going to be required to use the Velites jump rope. They can use whatever jump rope they wish. CrossFat says $500 to wear them, $3K if you win. So Tia's got at least $1,500. I think that's going to be that is going to be an interesting story for the back squat, is how much of Tia's pure strength was taken away by training for High Rocks. That's going to be the hardest thing to build back up in the time she has for the games. And so I think that's going to be a pretty good storyline to follow. Jay Birch says they should do it like the Rogue deadlift conga style. And then someone says, I hope not. That was painfully long. I think it's event 5. So if it's event 5, that means there has to be another event later in the day. So I am sure it's going to be very, very timed out as to how this goes. And so they can be done for event 6. And Vindicate makes a clear point. No one who has a shoe sponsor is going to wear them. Yeah. I wonder if people are going to their sponsors asking, hey, can I wear them just for this event to get the money? And what I would hope is that their sponsor says, we'll give you the $500 to wear our shoes. Lido says, I'm telling you, event 6 is max back squat reps at 50%. That gets tricky. I don't know, because if you're still in it, depending on how it's formatted, and you've done more reps than anybody else to get to your weight, and then after that you got to turn around and do more, you're at a distinct disadvantage against everybody else in the field. And so I don't unless it's just you get 3 shots and then you do the 50% at reps for 50 or at 50% of whatever, max reps at 50%, then okay, that's fine. Or you're also going to have people game it who have no shot to win the max. So they're going to just do a lighter load so they can do way more reps once they get to 50%. So there's a lot of ways to cheat that, if that makes sense. So, yeah. And I don't like it because it negates the win for the person on the max load than going for max reps. It like, because the winner's probably going to be last, the loser's probably going to be first, and it kind of negates everything. So, another thing I wanted to share with you guys is, if you didn't see Dave's story, you all know I am a massive, massive, massive Chicago Bears fan. And so what I want to show you now is Dave shared this on his story. This is Tyson Bagent. The Bears did a promo where they had training camp opened up yesterday for the Chicago Bears, and they did the first day of class kind of meme for all the players coming in. Only it was called first day of training camp. What is awesome about this is I'm going to fast forward this so you can see it in the lower corner. This is Tyson Bagent, first day of training camp, and he puts on here that when he wants to be a CrossFitter when he grows up. Who is doing more for CrossFit, promoting the games, promoting CrossFit as a methodology than Tyson Bagent, and he's not even getting paid by CrossFit to do so. I mean, he's just doing this because he loves it, and it really shows. How many top athletes going to the games have done this much promotion for the games? Here's a guy in the National Football League, the biggest sport we have in America. And every opportunity he gets to say it in a press conference or in a picture, he is pumping CrossFit. It's just amazing. And he plays for my favorite team, which makes it even better. That I get to follow his career. I get to see stuff he does. And if you weren't watching back a few weeks ago, a Chicago Bears reporter went and was embedded with Tyson the same weekend Hiller was there. They did a special on him in Chicago on a Bears podcast, did a 20-minute feature showing and promoting his training methods, including CrossFit. And it just was awesome. And all of that is done outside of the frames of like the typical stuff. So, just cool. It was just cool to see this. And it just makes me wonder why we don't see this much from athletes. We see the sponsorships, we see all the stuff they're required to do to make their money. But other than, hey, get 20% off your ticket if you use my code, what promotion to the CrossFit Games have we seen other than Dallin Pepper doing his countdown with his wife and Jason Hopper doing some stuff similar to that? Nobody else has been pushing, hey, games are 10 days away. Hey, games are 5 days away. Hey, come to the games. Watch us do this. We got a guy in the NFL doing more than that. There's something wrong with that. If you love this sport and you want to make it a professional sport, promote what the hell we're doing. It's more than just contracts. It's more than just sponsorships. It's getting people into the seat, getting eyeballs on the sport. I mean, the other day it was announced that DAZN is going to be the app that you can watch the CrossFit Games on. I'm on here going, just download the app. I don't care if you use it. But DAZN needs to see that we as CrossFitters are going to use the product. So just download the app so they have numbers to show a correlation with, and the announcement that the games are going to be on it, so that we can prove that we're worth the investment. CrossFit. I hope CrossFit isn't paying DAZN for their time. I would not see that. I think DAZN needs CrossFit as much as CrossFit needs them. DAZN needs to fill time slots. They need to fill content. They only become a valuable app if there is content for people to watch. And they need to make deals to get events to do that. And that's why we as consumers should be downloading the app to show that we're worth the investment. Whether you end up watching the games on YouTube because you like the format of that much better, that's fine. Just download the app. Just download the app. Vindicate, Travis says, Brooke made one post, didn't even say CrossFit Games in it. I know a lot of people have picked on Brooke for this, and she has not. She does not promote the games, but I can name you 10 others that don't either. Sarah brings up a good point. The Proven camp has done a great job with content getting ready for the games. They have. They really, really have. I would say Proven as a company has done that. But look at the individual athletes' Instagram pages. There's nothing. Nothing. And I know they're focused on themselves and getting themselves ready. But gosh, if you want this to grow, you want the prize money to grow, you have to promote the sport that you're trying to be in now. I think Proven, like I've been friends with Nick Johnston for a long time, prior to him even being with Proven. And I think he's doing a great job with the promotion aspect of things. But he has a very good business mind, and he gets it. He gets what you have to do if you want this thing to be around for a long time. Yeah. Craig, I said that. Dallin is killing it. Corinne, I think, is even better at it. I follow both of them. Their promotion of the games is awesome. Nick and Dwight live it. Yes. Yes, they are great. Who let the cats out? I also can guarantee a lot of these people who are intentionally not pushing the games are lab WFP people. I wouldn't be surprised if their contractual obligation to promote WFP also has stipulations about not promoting other organizations. That would be, if I saw that was actually true, I'm 1 foot out on WFP right now. I would be both feet out if I found out that was in their contract. Come on, guys. It's Legacy Week at HWPO, whatever that means. Just saying goodbye to all the athletes they used to have. Who are you most jazzed to see in Albany? From an athlete perspective, who am I most jazzed to see? It would be Annika Greer. I've known Annika since she was 16. I interviewed her when she finally made the teen CrossFit Games, and then they canceled them due to COVID. And we've been friends ever since. And to see her finally punch her ticket to the games and get there, and she's going to go out on that floor. I'm just so excited that I'm going to be there to see that. So yeah, that's who I'm most jazzed to see in Albany. But I have a lot of people that I'm, Dylan Lowen just texted me today. Can't wait to see him. Can't wait to see Ariel. I have a lot of friends over the years. And in the media company, there's been some media people reaching out to me. Then I didn't get to go to semis this year, so I get to see a lot of my friends in the media world. I can't wait for that. I see Aaron says top 10 males. We're actually going to do a pick show. I was watching John Young and Taylor and Bryson and Tyler last night on Sevan. We're going to do our own ranking probably this Sunday night. So we'll reveal all that then. I definitely don't agree with John's picks, but I don't want to go down through it and nitpick until I make mine and make it available for him to nitpick me. So I'll give you those. But I did sign up for the Heat One app, and I was trying to kind of put it together, and I just realized I need more time than just to sit here and do this. That the males are going to be impossible to rank. Completely impossible. Is that true? HWPO is moving to Boston. They're moving to O'Keefe's hometown instead of Fraser's hometown. About Annika, she's going to need to weather a storm on event 1. She will. I hope that now that she's made it to the games, the pressure of failing a run event will help her run more free than it has at the semifinal. But we'll see. Oh, they're moving to Vermont moving from Vermont because of the travel. Matt announced it on the Morning Chalk Up video. Okay. All right. I guess this is now a thing. I'm so jazzed for Lucy Campbell's return. I am too. Lucy's awesome. Can't wait for that. That's another person I can't wait. I've never met her in person. I had her on the show once. We had a great conversation. We've talked online a few times, but I've never met her in person. I was at the game she was at, but we just kept missing each other. I'm really jazzed for the back squat. Okay, now they're coming. When are the jazzed t-shirts coming? I mentioned it to my wife last night. She was like, yes, you need to do that. You need to do jazzed t-shirts. I guess, I'll go talk to my girl who designs the stuff we have. She's designed my 2 logos, and I'll see what she can come up with a jazzed thing. Maybe I can have them by the Masters CrossFit Games. Can't be true that WFP would prevent contracted athletes from promoting CrossFit since people like Dallin are under contract. True. Aaron Fraser, yeah, the Woolly Woodland thing. I'm going to get hammered here. Let's go. Here we are, the free, unfiltered Scott. I tried to watch their latest video, and I just couldn't. I like Sean a lot. I've actually known John Woolley a long time because he's here in Ohio. We've always had a decent relationship, but I just couldn't. It just was not my cup of tea. I don't know. I'll try again, maybe in a few weeks. Give them the benefit of the doubt for a couple to start off and see if they get in a groove. It seemed a little clunky going back and forth. So pretty rough first watch though. Yes, travel location allowed Mayhem to be so powerful in Cookeville. Yeah, but you're only an hour away from Nashville. I mean, it's not a bad travel. Marat is, I'm jazzed for the games in general, the premier event this year. I'd wear a Clydesdale shirt with a horse, saxophone, and a fedora on it. Make it like Zataran's logo. Okay, that's an idea. Jazzed by the Clydesdale. How do you think Sid Michalician will do at the games top 10? I don't think top 10. I think she's improving, and I think she's getting better. And I think that I'd have to see her in person. I know Sydney pretty well. We actually followed her for a season 2 years ago from the Open all the way through. And I think that when she was with Comp Train, she became too analytical, and she needed to let go a little bit when she was out on the floor. I have not seen her in person this year to see that. So I'd want to see if she has gotten rid of that over analysis about everything. Rambler, how come you're a Mets fan in Ohio? Well, here's the deal. Not that anybody cares, but I grew up in Pennsylvania, about an hour north of Pittsburgh. I was a Pirates fan my whole life. I was a huge Bobby Bonilla fan. When they let Bobby Bonilla go and he went to the Mets, then I defected for a minute, and I just started rooting for the Mets. Then the Pirates started to stink for like 25 years straight, and I had no baseball to watch after June. So I started just following the Mets, and then I started playing softball after a while, and I wore a Mets hat when I pitched, and that was my good luck. And I just always own a Mets hat. And then last year I really got back into the Mets when they made it to the National League Championship Series, and really got into it and broke out the hat again. So I'm still a Pirates fan, but they don't give me much to root for. So I follow the Mets too, so that I can watch baseball longer into the season. Sydney Michalician, isn't she a bad runner? She was really working on the running. And if you go back through her Instagram, there's some videos that show she's really improved on her running form. And I think she did much better at WFP. So hopefully she's picked up. I don't think she's going to win any running events, but I think she's minimized the damage that will happen. Greatest baseball contract ever done, Mets and Bobby Bonilla. Yeah, it was just Bobby Bonilla Day a couple of days ago. He's still getting paid by the Mets, like 1 point something million a year. Yeah, July 1st. Judy Reed, besides the Bucks, Ohio sports suck. Yeah, Ohio sports suck, period. I'm not a Bucks fan. I am a Penn State fan. And I always take it on the chin every year, but this could be the year it all changes. All right. I have so many topics, so we got lots to talk about this week. I just want a huge thank you with the Hiller video coming out this week. A lot of people have been reaching out. Some of those have been listeners from all the way back to when we were just an audio podcast 5 years ago. I know things have been booming in the last 6 months, but those people that have been with us forever and reaching out and reconnecting, it was awesome. It was awesome to hear from everybody. I'm going to try to get through all the YouTube comments and comment back. But it's just been awesome reconnecting with everybody. I think I got through all the DMs that I got and responded back to those. I'm going to try to get through all the YouTube comments by the end of the day. But you guys are the best, truly the best. Let's see. One thing gosh, which one of these do I want to talk about? I want to talk about the demo team. I think the demo team is so underrated. I don't think we've had an announcement on who that's going to be this year, but just think about how awesome it is to be a part of that demo team. And think about that connection that you make with Dave, what you learn by testing the workouts with him as you get ready for the next year. And as I look back on the last 3 years, 41% of the athletes that have participated on the demo team are in the games this year. Demo team last year that are now on the games is Annika Greer, Colton Mertens, Tudor, Magda. Demo team 2 years ago that are in the games this year, Sydney Mikulishin, Carolyn Prevost. Demo team 3 years ago that's in the games this year, Fisa Gaffi, James Sprague. That is 7 of 17 athletes that were put on the demo team in the last 3 years and are in the games this year. What you learn during that time is so invaluable that if you're an athlete on the cusp and you do not accept a role on the demo team, you're undercutting yourself. It has got to be the greatest opportunity if you want to grow in this sport. 41%. That's almost 50%. Go from demo team to the games. Who do you think the demo team is going to be this year? I think the format of the season has hurt the opportunities to figure out who they should be. So I'm anxious to see how this works out moving forward. It was easy when there were semifinals and you could see who they were 1 point out. They were 2 points out. They need to be pulled in here to be the demo because they're right on the cusp. Now with like people trying 4 times and 6 times, it's going to be a lot harder to kind of see who those people are. Have they ever flown anyone from overseas to be on the demo team? No. Yes. But, and there could have been more people at the games this year from the demo teams, but a lot of those people that came from overseas are the ones boycotting the games this year. So that's a shame. So that's even slanting it a little bit more. Trista Smith was on the team last year, Jeff. Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I would think they'd be announced by now. I mean, we're only, a week away from we're under a week till registration, and people have got to get here or get there. So I'm going to finish up with this. I heard someone say, have I seen the Champs Road to the Games? I did, and I didn't ever review it because we got mixed up in other things. And so that Return to the Games, I would give A-. I thought it was pretty good. Their personalities came across a lot more. They were outside the gym a little bit. That was pretty awesome. But again, they just need to push a little bit more into the storytelling aspect. I know that's been my theme all year. I also watched the Hatfield Mayhem piece yesterday. I think that was more interesting because of the rumored relationship with him and Haley. And that becomes pretty obvious if you watch that video that him and Haley are in a relationship just by the way they're looking at each other in the gym, how the way they interact. If they are not in a relationship, I would be shocked. And then, so that one I would give an A2. And then Emmettal Off the Clock, done by WFP. If that's what I was told to be patient, things are coming. Man, what a bad one to start off on. I don't think it pushed much. I didn't want stuff. If you're saying off the clock, that means not training to me. And then you follow her to a pool where she's training anyway. So that doesn't make sense to me. They also did not mic her up very well. So it was really hard to hear what she was saying. And so for that, I like the concept of off the clock. Let's go with someone for a day when they're not training. What do they do? How do they relax? Those types of things. I wanted so, but that fell short for me. So that one I would give a B-. Yeah. So Emmettal Off the Clock, B-. Return to the Games, Road to the Games, A-. The Hatfield Mayhem piece, an A. Again, in the Hatfield, the Mayhem piece was still formula. I just want something new and creative. Off the Clock promised me that and then didn't deliver, just like the other things that have been promised by the WFP from a media creation standpoint. So yeah, just quick review on those ones. Lito said, I heard the Torian Pro documentary is supposed to be good. Well, the only person I've heard it from is one of the other creators who did only watch the first part of it. I had a piece on that and I was going to show some stuff. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. I got some stuff though, still on my list of topics. So I will be back here tomorrow, but man, I am running over my 45 minutes every day now because you guys are freaking awesome. Love hanging out with you. With that, I got to get back to work. So you knuckleheads need to as well. We will see everybody next time on Lunch with the Clydesdale. Happy Clydesdale's Day, everybody. Bye, guys.